Greetings, free thinkers. Welcome to the Hoggcast. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing fine. I certainly am. Okay, what do we have for you on today's episode? We have for you the latest on Piers Morgan. Excuse me. We've got the Piers Morgan latest clip, and we've got the infamous Meghan Markle clip. Now, I've made my feelings clear about Meghan Markle and Piers Morgan for that matter. Meghan Markle will be the death of the British monarchy, but that's fine because whereas us, working class British people, we used to love the British royal family until they stabbed us in the back and sided with the Twitterati, with the woke mob. Because like everyone else in mainstream media and mainstream entertainment and society, they were told that this is what the next generation's going to be. All about woke and so on and so on. So they willingly stabbed their own supporters in the back, us working class people who traditionally have always gone off in wars and fought and died for the British monarchy, and instead they sided with the woke brigade who hates the British monarchy. And as for Piers Morgan, I did unfollow him ages ago because sometimes he says really stupid things, but then again I followed him now because he has taken a very important stand, and we're going to watch that stand now. He chose to die on the hill of free speech, which is something more and more of us need to do, because the Twitterati are hell-bent on taking away all our freedoms and all our personal liberties we hold dear in a never-ending chain of cancellations. They cancel this, that, and the other, and so on. So let's get into these two clips. But if you haven't yet, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and share this around to social media. The share button's down there. It only takes a few moments to do those things, and it really helps independent commentary channels out. Like ours, we've been demonetized and shadow banned, and it really helps because we're only a small channel. We're not like Paul Joseph Watson or Tim Pool. We're only small, so I could really do with your help. Okay, let's go. Okay, so first it is Piers Morgan and the very important speech he made outside his house to the press.
Freedom of speech. I believe in the right to be allowed to have an opinion. If people want to believe Meghan Markel, that's entirely their right. I don't believe almost anything that comes out of her mouth, and I think the damage she's done to the British monarchy and to the Queen at a time when Prince Philip is lying in hospital is enormous and frankly contemptible. So if I have to fall on my sword for expressing an honestly held opinion about Meghan Markle and that diatribe of bilge that she came out with in that interview, so be it. Your decision to leave ITV wanted you out? Yeah, no, it's all very amicable. I had a good chat with ITV and we agreed to disagree.
Okay, so let's go back because there's some very important points I want to make. And bravo, by the way, Piers Morgan. Oh, I know we haven't always seen eye to eye, but I now respect you more than I ever have done, even though I disagree with what a lot of things you say. This is the key to conservatism, modern conservatism. That's the difference between us and the left. Right, and stop calling the left liberals. There's nothing liberal about them, right? The word liberal was just a mask that they used. One of many masks. They have always used masks, like the word progressivism, okay? Progressivism is the mask word for Marxism. They mean the same thing, they do the same thing. A lot of people don't know the definition of Marxism, but I have stated it a number of times in videos on this channel. The definition of Marxism is a permanent revolution. You change one thing, then you change another, then you change another, then you change another, and so on ad infinitum. And if anyone gets in your way, you cancel them. What does that sound like to you? That's progressivism. You see, they use masks for everything. They will hide their very evil intentions under the mask word of something very benign, very nice sounding word. You know, they'll use something flowery, a word flowery, to disguise a nasty intention. That's why they need to cancel you. They cannot live in a world and have their agenda thrive if there are anyone out there with free speech who could challenge them. So let's play again, and I'll make some points when and if I think I need to make them.
No, I believe in freedom of speech. I believe in the right to be allowed to have an opinion. If people want to believe Meghan Markel, that's entirely their right. I don't believe almost anything that comes out of her mouth.
And what's wrong with that? Why do these people who oppose Piers Morgan, and not just him, it's not necessarily him they're opposing, it's his action, it's what he's done, which is to offer an opinion different from the herd narrative, the sheep narrative, the elite narrative, the mainstream narrative. Why is that so bad? As I said previously, they cannot thrive, they cannot excel with their agenda when there is a world where you and me can speak freely. We have to just count out. That is how fragile the progressive argument is. Okay, they've built their house on quicksand, right? Because quicksand is the only substance capable of tolerating the intolerant. So they have to build on quicksand. And as they've built on quicksand, they are always needing to change this, move the goalpost, silence this person, cancel this person, because if they don't, their house will come crumbling down.
The damage is done to the British monarchy and to the Queen at a time when Prince Philip was lying in hospital.
That's another good point. Now, as I've said, a vast majority of working class white English people, myself included, have over the last few years turned against the British monarchy, which is something throughout 99% of my life I never thought would happen. But we've had about enough of being intolerated ourselves. We've had about enough of being used, taken for granted, just insulted, quite frankly. And when I was younger, I would have happily, if it called for it, if the Queen wanted an army to fight, saying there was a threat, a military threat to the British royal family, I would have been happy to go and fight and die for the British monarchy, even though they have never really done anything for me. But that was my working class loyalty to the British monarchy. Not anymore. Why? Because they've turned against us. They have embraced wokeism. They think it will save them, right? They've gone down the route the British monarchy has never gone down before, which is the appeaser route. They think if they keep feeding this progressive crocodile that it won't eat them, or at the very least it'll eat them last. Well, this crocodile's getting fat, it's getting angry, it wants more food, and I'm afraid to say for the British royal family, the food is running out. So now they've started to sacrifice us. They've started to feed us, working class people, the people that have always supported the monarchy, to the progressive crocodile. They've prostrated themselves to some of the radical leftist groups. That, for example, the group that burnt down entire city blocks in Minneapolis, Kenosha, caused months-long riots in Seattle and Portland, New York, LA, and they sided with them against us. So support for the royal family is very low. That being said, he does make a good point that Meghan Markle will be the death of the British royal family. But I think that's what the idea was all along. I think she was handpicked for Harry. I think they wanted to do this to try and be more woke, to try and get some of those glorious progressive points. I hope before it's too late that they realise that the people that they are prostrating themselves to do not like the British royal family. They want to see it gone. And it will. Because of their own choices they made. They couldn't just stand up for themselves. Like Piers Morgan is standing up for himself here. And it goes further. He's standing up for the British royal family as well. For standing up for himself. For standing up for free speech. For standing up for the royal family. He has generated a ton of progressive rage, SJW woke rage towards himself, because he's done the unforgivable. He has had a free-thinking, independent thought that is not tolerated by the crocodile. Okay, it just wants to be fed every day.
Is enormous and frankly contemptible. So if I have to fall on my sword for expressing an honestly held opinion about Meghan Markle and that diatribe of bilge that she came out with in that interview, so be it. Your decision for me.
Well said, Piers. And it was a diatribe of bilge, and we're going to take a look at the offending clip in a moment. The main segment, the segment that got everyone riled up. We're going to watch that in a second. I just want to finish this clip here by saying that I respect Piers Morgan now more than I ever have done, and I still don't agree with a lot of what he says. But as I said moments ago, being a conservative means you can disagree with other people but still respect them. This philosophy is alien on the left. They don't understand how you could respect someone that has different opinions. They just don't understand it. So I'm not going to try and explain it to them because they don't understand. I don't think they can comprehend it. But if you are watching this and you're a conservative, you know what I mean. You can respect someone for saying something good or having a good quality without necessarily agreeing with them politically. That's the sign of a healthy individual, and if everyone has those shared beliefs, that is a sign of a healthy society. So next we have the offending clip. I don't believe her either myself. I think she's lying. I think the eyes don't lie. When Oprah Winfrey reacts with shock, it temporarily stops Meghan Markle in her tracks. And although her mouth doesn't move, her eyes are alive with regret. She thinks, oh, I've done it now. Because she's talking out of her rear end. She's just talking what she thinks the woke Twitterati want to hear. And they did want to hear it. What they didn't want to hear was the likes of Piers Morgan, and anyone else for that matter, daring to disagree.
Concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
What?
And
who is having that conversation with you?
So you can see she kind of stops here. She doesn't say anything. Keep an eye on her, the look on her face, and her eyes in particular. I think she realises that she's gone too far in this. Because if you watch the whole video of this, the whole clip, the whole interview, it is one long attempt by some millionaires and a billionaire to project to the Twitterati and the world in general that they are victims, even though a lot of people probably who are on Twitter or in the world in general, thanks to the Rona bug, have been out of work for months, probably don't have anything. But apparently these people, the millionaires, the billionaires, the royalty and the Hollywood elites, they are the victims. And the people who have been out of work for months and haven't got a penny to their name should feel sorry for them. But take a look at and keep an eye on Meghan Markle's face.
What?
so,
See, you can see it.
There is a conversation. Hold up.
there's
Stop
several
right now.
there's several conversations.
There's a
about it
conversation with you
with Harry.
about how dark your baby is going to be?
Potentially, and what that would mean or look like.
Ooh.
What that would mean or look like. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. This is why I warned. She controls Harry. I know she does. I can just tell. These are the type of people the British royal family have sided with against their own working class support base. You know that the House of Windsor will be the last British royal house of royal blood. It will be the last house. the British monarchy will die out after that. I can tell. And people are always saying about the British monarchy, oh, well, it should end, blah, blah, blah. Well, why should it end? Really, if you think about it, do you know how many kingdoms still exist in the world? Quite a few. There's a king of Thailand, for heaven's sake. There are kings all over the world. But nobody says, well, their monarchy needs to end. It's just the ones they can get away with. It's just the ones who have members of their royal family that look like me. They're the ones that has to go. And for what? Ask them. Ask the Twitterati. I bet you they can't tell you. They've never thought about it.
About how dark your baby is going to be?
Potentially, and what that would mean or look like.
Ooh. And you're not going to tell me who had the conversation?
I think that would be very damaging to them.
You've already damaged them. On the contrary, tell us. If this really happened, which I, like Piers Morgan, do not believe, tell us. Tell us.
Okay.
Ridiculous. That's the end of that clip. So look, what do you think of this whole thing? Now, let me tell you something before I end. I love American people, as you know. I would move to the United States in a heartbeat if I could. I would love to live there in the United States. I love America. So my disdain for Meghan Markle is not a slight on the United States. On the contrary. I'm just saying that her as an individual, I don't like. She controls Harry. Harry's weak. And this attempt at trying to make people feel sorry for some of the most privileged people on earth just irritates me. And more, the woke Twitterati, these are the people who claim to have PhDs in discrimination and PhDs in all of these privilege and white privilege stuff and all of this Marxist stuff, right? They are the ones who are so easily manipulated. They have allowed themselves to feel sorry for people who have lived their entire life in fantastic privilege. Yet when a working class person like me gets a job out of 100 people, of which 10 of them who applied for that job happen to be minorities, I get accused by those same woke Twitterati people of having white privilege. Yet they're the ones feeling sorry for the most privileged elites of them all. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you very much to my regulars like Mel, Regan, loads of you to mention, Nikki Angel, Shake and Bake. I just want to thank you all for still being here. I was away for almost a week because I had blood poisoning, but I'm back now. If you haven't yet, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell and share this video around. That end one's the most important because it is extremely difficult to be discovered on YouTube and grow our channels in this day and age. They don't want independent content creators on the platform anymore, really. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.